All right. Just got done watching the Bills-Ravens game, and you'll want to stick around for this. I got a real rant for you guys. I need some opinions and feedback. I know my audio quality isn't great, and I do not keep these videos interesting visually because I'm just working off my phone. But the NFL has a serious problem on its hands, and this problem is named Chris Collinsworth, a man with a job somehow. I have over 3 pages of notes on how this man ruined probably the game of the year with his just absolutely incompetent commentary, man. I am like shaking. I can't even hold my anger for this man. I mean, he started off the game talking about how Allen was the MVP and Buffalo should be, we might see him in the Super Bowl in February. We'll have to see. No mention of Lamar. No mention of the Ravens' capability. You know why that narrative comes to be? Because the Ravens blew a few games. But what have the Bills done except for blow chances to even get to the Super Bowl like the Ravens? They're in the same tier, you know what I mean? But not to Chris Collinsworth's thick, narrow mind, dude. His thick skull and narrow mind can't handle anything outside narratives that the NFL likes to carry. That's what this man's job is. It's not to commentate on games. No, it's to push narratives that the NFL likes. And I think he does that naturally. It's not a decision. No, Chris Collinsworth is just that guy. He is a jester for the NFL. It really is like that. But anyways, let's just rapid fire off some of these points because I got a lot to get through, man. So Khalil Shakir made one play cutting over the middle of the field, deep in route, 15, 20 yards about, and he just dove for the ball like any receiver that values their job should. But what does Chris Collinsworth say? Oh, well, that's just a great play. Meanwhile, Zay Flowers is cooking the entire Bills secondary the whole game, barely being touched. But it's all about Khalil Shakir. The same thing with Keon Coleman. He talks so much about this second-year receiver that's barely done anything and how he's Mahomes' favorite target. And they practice this all the time. I can't handle it, man. I can't handle it, dude. Like, this guy does not see anything except positive for the Bills and Chiefs and negatives for everybody else. That's literally what it is, man. I mean, he had the bias for the Bills on every close call. And to be fair, most of them were against the Ravens. But, I mean, we're going from, like, reasonable stuff, like a pick that Chidobe Awuzie almost had that hit the ground. He's like, well, I don't know. They need to check that. Fair. And it was overturned, you know? But then you have Joshua Palmer just throwing it back on Jair Alexander. And Chris Collinsworth's like, oh, that's one of the best veteran plays you can see. Just an absolute great veteran receiver move right there. What, dude? Like, Jair barely even had his hand on his shoulder pad, and Joshua Palmer just, like, literally backed into him, and that's a PI? Chris Collinsworth's just like, oh, that's a great play. I literally can't handle it. I can't handle it, dude. And then there were several times over the broadcast where they talked about Allen's form improvement. Oh, look at him out of Wyoming and how goofy he threw. But now it's great. I'm putting it in my own words, obviously, like just summarizing it. But, dude, 2 to 3 times they talked about Allen's improvement, and not once did they mention Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Jordan Love, Justin Herbert. Most of the great quarterbacks have to come out of college and adapt and change their form. But, oh, no, it's just Allen's so great, you know? Oh, my Lord, dude. There's this play where he threw a check down, Josh Allen did, to James Cook. James Cook stiff arms Roquan out the way and weaves his way for 40 yards. And you know what Chris Collinsworth says? Oh, well, that was just all Allen. Look at how he slid the line. Dude, the Ravens rushed 6 to 7 people, and all Allen did was whoop the little check down like 3 yards to the right. And then James Cook did literally everything to get all the yard gainage. I mean, the throw was behind the line of scrimmage. And James Cook stiff arms Roquan Smith? Other than Fred Warner, probably the best linebacker in the whole league. James Cook made an epic play on that. I mean, it was incredible. But Chris Collinsworth doesn't care because it's all about Josh Allen. You know what I mean? Well, like, how is this even possible, dude? How can you, like... He just vomited all over the broadcast, and it's probably because his gag reflex is being tested by the hypothetical of just on Josh Allen, dude. It's ridiculous, man. There was a quote he had where he's like, "Oh, it's great football tonight. Doesn't get better than this." It was literally only close into the third quarter because Buffalo's defense sucked. I mean, the Ravens, like, were choking with PIs, a fumble, letting picks slip out onto the ground. I mean, the Ravens played sloppy too on defense, just like the Bills did, but that doesn't matter to Chris Collinsworth. This is one of the all-time all-timers, in his quotes. Like, he didn't watch the Rams versus the Chiefs. What was it, like 2018, 2019? You know, when both teams scored 50? I mean, to be fair, like, this wasn't in those same quotes, but kind of in the midst of the broadcast, he's like, "Oh, what week one is like this?" I mean, it's not this much of a shootout usually, but week ones are trash shoots for the NFL. This is truly one of the best week one games, but not because of the way he's looking at it, where it's Allen and Lamar. So great. Especially Allen. I'll barely talk about Lamar until the fourth quarter when it's clear the Ravens are dominating. I mean, they showed this statistic where the Ravens were averaging 10 yards a play and scored 40 points at that point. But, it's all about Josh Allen and this great comeback, one of the gutsiest comebacks I've ever seen. Let me check my notes. Yes, gutsiest comebacks I've ever seen. The most they were down is 15 points. And even the broadcast backed him up. They're like, the Bills haven't come back from down 15 points or more since 1967. What an arbitrary, weird stat to pull up unless you're just trying to suck off Josh Allen. You know what I mean? It was barely 15 points. It was not over 15 points for a second. All right? I mean, this is getting nuts, dude. I can't handle it anymore. He literally ruined probably the game of the year for me with the way he's talking. I can't handle it, man. I'm going to have to wait to not watch live games when he's on the broadcast and just listen to them with music. I literally can't handle myself around this man. I am calling for his job, his career, everything. I don't ever want to see this man talk about football again. I don't care if that's his life, passion, and how he feeds his family. I'd rather know Chris Collinsworth is homeless than know he's on a primetime broadcast again. Oh, Lord. Oh, what else are we going through? It took him halfway through the fourth quarter to finally admit it's domination by the Ravens, in quotes. Because it was. They let it slip with one Derrick Henry fumble and some bad, PI stuff. You know, Jair Alexander played like crap, dude. Absolute crap. That's why it was close. And Ed Oliver made a great play to force the fumble out of Henry's hands, but they only mentioned that once because it's all about Josh Allen. You know, it's insane that they can watch this Bills team that should be crumbling if they didn't have Josh Allen, but all they're going to talk about is how Josh Allen's that great. I mean, it kind of makes sense because he has to carry this team that's falling apart basically every game. But not really, because you have to look at the whole game and why it's happening, because football is like chess, you know? And it's not just all Josh Allen. It was Buffalo's defense was also playing like crap. The Ravens threw it 2 to 3 times, through the game. I mean, it's nuts, dude. It's absolutely nuts, all right? So, Josh Allen had an interception on a 2-point play, right? And that kept it a 9-point game, a 2-possession game. Kyle Hamilton got the pick, right, and immediately tossed it over his shoulder to Kyle Van Noy, who was in the end zone. It was a little sketchy, you know. But all they talked about was, oh, that's, in quotes, a boneheaded play by Kyle Hamilton. So risky. No, dude, it's a boneheaded play by Allen to throw it into double coverage into the corner and throw away 2 points instead of trying to run it in or something. He kept it a 2-point game. Or a 2-possession game by throwing away 2 points. And they already missed the 2-pointer because Keon Coleman or Joshua Palmer, whoever it was that time, couldn't stay in bounds. Pretty sure it was Coleman. But literally, they brought it up like 3 times that Hamilton had this pick but made a dumb play, apparently, because he threw it back to Van Noy, who ran out the end zone and then kneed it. I mean, he did what he needed to. Van Noy's a real veteran, been on a few teams and made every single one better. From the Patriots, I think that's where he started. Patriots, I mean, he's gone to the Vikings as far as I remember, the Dolphins, now the Ravens. He's made every team better. He's always played wise. But that doesn't matter to the Chris Collinsworth. It's just, oh, it's such a dumb play. I can't believe it. Oh, it's nuts, dude. It's nuts. We can't talk about how Josh Allen made the game way harder than it needed to be. Oh, hell no. Dude, I mean, I witnessed Josh Allen sail the ball over the heads of people. 3 straight times he missed a touchdown. There was one on the go route to the right side to Palmer or Coleman again, and he sailed it. And all Chris Collinsworth talked about was, oh, these hesitation to go plays, they're so hard to time, you know? Well, if Allen's a veteran that's improved so much, why can't he make the simple throw? And then he had a chance right after that to throw it to Ty Johnson on the left side on like a wheel route, and he sailed it over his head. I mean, Ty Johnson's like 5'6", dude, and he had to jump with the breadbasket out like this. He had to jump for it. You know how hard it is to do that? Allen made it way harder than it needed to be, dude. It's ridiculous. I mean, in quotes, what Chris Collinsworth said, hardest thing to do, something about in the end zone, is these hesitates and goes. No, he blew 2 wide open throws, and you're giving him the bailout, the benefit of the doubt, you know? It's ridiculous, man. It took him until there's 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter to admit that it's almost impossible to get a stop for Buffalo. It's basically what he said in parrot quotes. Like, we had to watch the whole game for Chris Collinsworth to finally be like, you know what, the Ravens are actually playing really well. But Josh Allen, it always goes back to Josh Allen. It always does. Like, this is Christ almighty to Chris Collinsworth is Josh Allen. Josh Allen is like his dad, and Chris Collinsworth is a little girl watching him. Just go sit on his lap, dude. Like, I don't need to hear you talk about him. Just go sit on his lap because he's daddy to you, apparently. It's ridiculous, man. To bring it back to the form stuff, he talked continually about continued improvement for Allen, while nobody else gets credit in the whole league. Again, Lamar, Mahomes, Herbert, Love, like all these guys have come out, matured and improved and played patient. But only Allen matters when it comes to that, apparently, because he's white or something. Well, no, because Herbert. Like, I don't get it, dude. What is it? Is he racist or is he just stupid? Or is it a little bit of both? I don't understand how somebody can do this. Like, it's so incompetent and biased and ridiculous. I literally can't handle it. To bring it back to those go routes when he sailed it over the heads of Joshua Palmer and then Ty Johnson, he said, in quotes, cannot throw it better than that. Like I told you, dude, it went like 3 yards over Keon Coleman's head. What do you mean? He had to dive out and stretch for it. You can definitely throw it better than that. You had 10 yards of space, the entire end zone, to place that ball somewhere in that corner where Keon can get it. And Allen couldn't do that. What do you mean you can't throw it better than that? Ty Johnson's one of the smallest running backs I've ever seen in the league. He's like Muggsy Bogues at running back, you know? And he sailed it over his head so hard that Ty Johnson had to hop up with the breadbasket and try to get it. If you've never played receiver, you don't understand how hard that is. Allen made it way harder than he needed to. He could have thrown it over to the pylon on the side, let Ty Johnson adjust to it. No, he did not do that, though. He just sailed it over the head of him. It's ridiculous how he rushed these throws. Man, almost done. 15 minutes in, I'm almost done. All right, if you even somehow listen to all this, I'm just going to get it out on the internet because I can't fucking handle this. I need therapy after listening to Chris Collinsworth. Oh, how he has a job is beyond me, dude. It is just pure ignorant bliss for this man. In quotes, I'm so impressed with the Buffalo Bills, hanging on despite never really being in the game. Fair enough, right? But you weren't talking about that for 3 quarters. It took you getting halfway through the 4th quarter to finally be like, you know what, the Ravens are kind of putting the beat down, but the Bills are still in it. The Bills are still in it because of Josh Allen. Oh, Lord. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Let's see. He said Gregory Rousseau was the best on the D-line for the Bills, is something he said in quotes tonight. When Joey Bosa, who looked like crap, by the way, he was playing like a burnt-out bum with no stamina, but he was the only one getting pressures and forcing Lamar out of stuff. They stopped running the read option because Joey Bosa, was reading it well. Joey Bosa was the only one getting his hands on him. When Lamar, circled back around and got himself out of that 3rd and 10 play, ran it for 20 yards, Joey Bosa's the only man that even put a hand on him, dude. I don't want to hear about Gregory Rousseau, dude. Come on. Chris Collinsworth knows all the little guys. I mean little, not big names, Gregory Rousseau's a big man. Anyways, Chris Collinsworth knows the entire Bills roster and just loves them all, apparently. But nobody else gets that credit even. Not even the Chiefs, dude. His bias for the Bills is nuts. Was he born in Buffalo? I'm going to have to look it up, man. I also need to look up if he's married. Because this dude's so gay for Josh Allen, it's questionable. And I'm an ally. He might be bi, but, come on, dude. Your wife needs to know you're about to suck this dude off if you get the chance. Holy hell, dude. And on that point, Josh Allen failed at least 2 times. I think 3 times on a QB sneak, just trying to, get it in there. And then he finally went over the top on the 3rd or 4th attempt. He blew an easy touchdown after the James Cook throw I mentioned earlier by trying to QB sneak it like this. But you know what Chris Collinsworth said? Just something completely opposite to logic and reality, of course. He says everyone else tries to submarine under the pile, but Allen goes over the top. Yeah, that's how good he is. He's just so creative and athletic. He's never seen LaDainian Tomlinson do that, or half a dozen other quarterbacks. I can remember 4 or 5 times Matthew Stafford has jumped over the line to win a game. But no, only Allen does that. Only Allen's capable of that, obviously, from Chris Collinsworth's mind, dude. Somehow, man. I mean, literally, Josh Allen tried the basic QB sneak, not even powering through like Jalen Hurts. He literally did the submarine under the pile, like Chris Collinsworth said. 2 to 3 times he tried that first, and then he finally jumps over the top, and that's all that matters to Chris Collinsworth, apparently. That's all he pays attention to. It's nuts, man. So when the Bills got the fumble off of Derrick Henry and they went back and scored a touchdown, you know what this thick-skulled Neanderthal said? I think Derrick Henry will have a chance to make amends. Oh, really, dude? That's what you think? Oh, wow, that's so surprising. I would be shocked if he did. No, I'm kidding, dude. It's 2 minutes left. The Bills are trying to run out the clock. Literally the first play, they give it to Derrick Henry. What else were they going to do? Come on, dude. He's saying stuff like he has insight. He can predict the game like Tony Romo. Chris Collinsworth, you are not that guy, pal. This is ridiculous, man. And then, like, going through the fourth quarter, he's like, talk about looking like an MVP right now. Talking about Josh Allen, who blew 3 touchdowns in a row, threw away 4 points by throwing it to Keon Coleman after he was out of bounds, and then throwing a pick. I mean, this dude played sloppy, and I think Allen's a top 5 quarterback. But not if he plays like he did tonight. Come on, man. Even later in the game, when they were making the comeback to get the field goal, Allen, like, screamed at his O-line some audible. And to be fair, Deion Dawkins should not jump for this. But Allen's like, oh, no, like, freaking out, you know what I mean? Made his O-lineman jump. But no, that's not on Josh Allen. No, that's just because of Allen's excitement. He's just so excited and passionate about the game. He can't even hold it in. That's why he screamed like a caveman and made his line jump and get a false start. Just something I've seen like 2 other quarterbacks do, like Cam Newton and then maybe Andrew Luck. Guys with hard counts that were in situations. Allen was just screaming like a jackass, and Chris Collinsworth was worshiping it, dude. Oh my God. I mean, it was dead silent on the field almost. And Allen's like losing his mind, like a car backfiring. Just, fuck, dude, it's ridiculous. It's not excitement, it's immaturity. It always is immaturity with Josh Allen, who always sits there like, fucking shocked when the game's close and can't believe that the Ravens are this good. Because everybody in the NFL worships this man and puts him on a pedestal for the smallest of things, when he's not even clearly better than anybody that's mentioned next to his name. But people are trying to put him up there like they did Mahomes. It's ridiculous, dude. And I mean, he is that good, but so is Lamar, so is Herbert, especially after this first week. You know what I mean? Like, let's just stop it with putting the Josh Allen on a pedestal. It's ridiculous. And then the final icing on the cake, I know I'm over 20 minutes in, but it's just mind-blowing to me how moronic, incompetent, narrow-minded, foggy-brained, and just fucking stupid Chris Collinsworth is. Because they had 32 seconds left, no timeouts, it's 3rd and goal, and Chris Collinsworth's like, oh, would you have Allen just scramble and throw it away? Talk about a boneheaded play. No, dude, of course they're just going to knee it and run the field goal unit out. They have 30 seconds to do so. I've seen college teams run their guys out with like 5 seconds left and they get a field goal off and make it. But would you have Josh Allen, the god of the NFL, run around and make a goofy play and throw it away at the end? Of course not, dude. What kind of idiot would do that? Nobody in their right mind would even think of something like that. But of course, Chris Collinsworth's over here in a fucking alternate reality talking about how this game's like Madden. I can't believe it. Would you have Josh Allen run and throw it away? No, nobody would. Not any of the 32 NFL coaches would be that ridiculous, man. Like, come on, even Ben Johnson and, like, Mike McDaniel would not try to be that tricky and stupid, dude. Like, even on a trick play, even before half, not the end of the game. Like, nobody is this stupid, except for Chris Collinsworth, apparently. I don't understand how not only he has a job, but he is leading the broadcast for these primetime games. It hurts me mentally. I might need antidepressants and a psychiatrist just to live with the idea, the knowledge that Chris Collinsworth has this freedom and this job and makes millions doing it. It should not be real, this man being this bad at his job, this biased, this just absolutely wildly narrow-minded and jester like, oh, I can't believe what Josh Allen's doing. I mean, that's giving it more credit than he gets, because he's not actually that stupid. But boy, does he act like it whenever Allen or Mahomes is on. I mean, Allen threw like a 5-yard pitch down the field, like barely scrambled out and just went, dude, like 5 yards. You know what Chris Collinsworth did? I swear this man had a happy accident in his pants. I don't even know what to say. Dude, nearly every quarterback can do that. I've seen Tua throw a shovel pass from behind the line up like 5 yards. Every quarterback should be able to make that play. But when Chris Collinsworth is watching, it's like God himself is on the field playing quarterback through Josh Allen. That's how he sees it and talks about it. It's absolutely insane that this man can't see any flaws in Josh Allen or the Bills, really. And he won't even talk that positive on the Ravens at all, who absolutely stomped them in terms of metrics. I mean, again, this should have been a great game, a great comeback, all this stuff that Chris Collinsworth was kind of alluding to. But the way he talks about it is fucking disgusting, incompetent, and biased. That's it.